plug my phone in before I get started on this. Does anyone even listen to this? Hey, welcome back to the Chandie Speaks podcast. It's your girl, Chandie. I'm back another week, chilling, living the dream. It's Tuesday, right? What fucking day is it? It's Tuesday. I'm actually going to try and I'm going to try and push through this because I just don't feel like it. I'm just not in the mood, I don't know why. No one told me to fucking do this podcast. Literally, no one told me to do this. This is, all my choice. I have my intentions. It's just, every week I'm just like, man, fuck those intentions. Basically, almost every week. Some weeks I'm just, super enthusiastic about it. And then, like today, it's just, it's just kind of like a chill, gloomy kind of day. Not really gloomy, but it was raining. What day is it? It's Tuesday. Let me just start there. It's Tuesday. I'm going to push through this damn podcast. Y'all bear with me. Thank you for listening. Thanks for tuning in another week. It's the 15th, I believe. It's Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. So this is for tomorrow. I'll be uploading this tomorrow. It's 78 degrees, which isn't hot, but it's just just mildly uncomfortable because it's mixed with thunderstorms, scattered thunderstorms. And it's just been like that swampy, that Georgia swamp kind of feeling. And it's just, and I'm just not in the mood. I really don't feel like this right now, but hey, you guys showed up. Thanks. I'm going to give you guys something. Nobody like I said, nobody told me to do this. I can stop at any time. Really? Whatever. The intention was for this to be therapeutic. Obviously doing van life. I spend a lot of time by myself in this beautiful damn fucking van with my beautiful damn dog. And I talk to myself a lot, as most of you probably already would have guessed or have known if you've been following me on my YouTube channel. That's some good news. I'm officially on YouTube. Well, I've been on YouTube. The Vanlife Diaries, for anyone who's been following along, the Vanlife Diaries series is officially done. The series finale premiered this past Friday, I believe. I premiered it. Friday? Yeah, Friday was the final episode. It premiered. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's literally titled Series Finale. Nothing really going on there. It's just the last few clips that I added. I don't even think I'm talking in that video. I was literally just transitioning. In that video, the reason why there's literally nothing going on, please go check it out. There's nothing going on. Is because I was transitioning from the Vanlife Diaries to the Chandie Speaks podcast. And I officially premiered the first podcast episode on YouTube. Well, it's episode 3. Way back. Anyone who's been following on Spotify, you already got this 2 months ago. So my people who will exclusively follow me on YouTube, that's for them. And they're, they'll get it when they get it. They'll get the rest of the episodes when they get it. But if you want them, this is where I'll be posting them on Spotify, as live as they can be. So I'm a little excited about that. Just basically, putting myself out there and, reaching a bigger audience. I'm also on TikTok now, which is so weird. I didn't think I would ever be on TikTok, but I had to get on TikTok because apparently I've been missing out on a big group of people who exclusively just follow people through TikTok. You're not cool if you're not on TikTok. So I don't even care about being cool. Listen, you follow me, you listen to me, cool, thanks. But really, I'm not doing anything important here. I'm not doing anything special here. This is mostly, like I said, in all my other episodes and podcasts, this is just for me. But thanks for listening. Sometimes I'll get into these rants. I don't even know if I'm going to rant this week. What do I want to talk about? Let me go to my handy dandy notebook. Let me see. Last week I talked about my identity crisis. Update on that. I'm still kind of going through an identity thing. I'm choosing to, how do I say this without sounding like I'm settling? I'm basically pick and choosing who gets to say my legal name, But Luna is the name I'm realizing is like, it's really like a brand name. All of my side hustles, all my side businesses, they all have Luna in the title. Like my photography business is Lenses by Luna. I'm going to do some self-promoting here. Lenses by Luna, Knots by Luna, Luna's Infusions, Tarot Queen Luna, which is kind of falling off because I don't do tarot anymore. I don't do tarot as much anymore. Basically, Luna's been my brand name. It's more than just like my mask that I put on and like, you know, bitches love Luna. It's become like a brand name. So like anything that I put my name on, it has to have Chandie on it or Luna. So yeah, I'm still kind of going through some identity things right now. I don't really know how to explain it. Shit, man. I've been thinking a lot about being on the road. I had some weird dream the other night. I don't even remember it. I've been thinking a lot about not really being on the road, but just kind of going somewhere or doing something new. I'm having an itch, sort of like a spiritual itch to dramatically shake things up. And I think it's my spirit kind of telling me that I'm sort of easing into some kind of routine or some kind of complacency. Like on one side, yeah, there's some structure and there's some, you know, discipline in my life and there's like a balance, you know. I routine is good, I guess, for the most part, but at the same time I'm like, I don't know, I'm also like, part of my routine is also like switching up my routine, if that makes any sense. And I don't know, I've been ever since I got back from Colorado, really, not really ever since, like for about a week now, since last week, I've been kind of like just really wanting to just get the fuck out of Georgia. Nothing wrong with Georgia. I don't know, it's not Georgia itself, it's just my longing to just move and go and spread myself out into the world. And I don't think that I'm at least that's how I feel right now. I feel like right now there's something that I'm needing, that I'm like either longing for or like I'm like not getting. There's something that I'm not getting and I don't know what it is. It's like I'm looking for something that I didn't realize that I lost, or I lost something that I don't know what it is. And I'm just feeling like that. And that's just my whole MO, it seems like. I don't know. We're like in like the thick of the summer right now in Georgia. And yeah, I'm just kind of over the summertime right now in Georgia. I would love to be in like a cooler place. I would love to be in cooler temperatures. But at the same time, I don't like snow. And I don't really vibe with a lot of the northern states. So I'm basically like, I'm in like this purgatory area where I just like, where the fuck am I gonna go? Okay, what am I gonna do with my fucking life? Get my fucking life together. Type shit. It's just, yeah. And we're in the dog days of summer. And like, dog days of summer never actually like meant anything to me until I moved to Georgia. Like 2 years in a row now, I'm like, God damn, this shit is fucking hot. It's like swamp ass hot. It's unnecessarily fucking hot. And I'm just like slightly irritable of it. I don't know. I'm just slightly irritable. I'm not gonna make this one of those podcasts, but it might be. Hey, it is what it is. I'm over it. I'm just really fucking over it. I want it to be cooler temperatures. But not freezing temperatures. I don't want to freeze in my van. I just want to be comfortable, okay? I want to be able to sit in my van for, like, an extended period of time, you know, and not feel like I have to shower just from sitting down. Like, oh, my God. Multiple times a day, I'm like, I need to take another fucking shower. What the fuck is going on? Why is it so hot? Anyway. I don't know if that's global warming or if that's just Georgia. It's yeah. Another thing, I've also noticed that I haven't drank enough water. I haven't been drinking enough water, so maybe that's part. Maybe I'm just dehydrated. Maybe I should just drink some fucking water. Drink some fucking water. I got some weed. Got some weed. Where the fuck did it come from? It obviously wasn't from Colorado because it gave me a headache. Not saying that Colorado weed don't give me a headache, but low quality weed gives me a headache. And it sucked so bad that I didn't even want to finish smoking. And this was like a few days ago. I had a crazy migraine. Mixed with the dehydration and the heat. I cried. I don't know if you've ever had like a headache. Am I the only person? Like, I'm pretty sure people get headaches so fucking bad that you fucking cry. Like, you feel like you want to throw up. You feel like you just want to throw up your headache, but it won't happen. So you're just hanging there, like with your mouth open, drooling on yourself, and then like tears are just running down your fucking face. Because you can't even think about doing anything. You can't move. You can't think about anything. It's like the worst migraine. And I'm pretty sure it has something to do with that weed. Maybe the dehydration as well had something to do with it, mixed with the heat. But yeah, highly do not recommend buying street weed in Atlanta. Totally not worth the pain. Is that all I'm going to do I'm just going to bitch this week, it seems like. I'm just bitching. I made a list of things for me to talk about, and I've been going on for 13 or so minutes now, just kind of bitching. Someone at my job, drank my fucking double shot espresso. I got off work early, right? The day before, because we were waiting for, I cater for weddings. I know I've already said that, but I'm going to say it again. I prep and cater, I cook, I'm a chef for weddings. Multiple weddings in a week. I literally see hundreds of people come in to witness people say I do, and then they party, and then they eat, and then we're in the background cooking. But the night before, the truck didn't come for us to cook anything, so we literally had nothing to cook or prep. Luckily, we didn't have any events that day, so I got to leave early. And I'm like, okay, the truck's coming first thing in the morning. I'm gonna run over to the gas station. I'm gonna buy myself a $5 fucking Starbucks double shot espresso in the tall can. Because it's the only thing that gets me going. I'm not a big coffee drinker. I don't like coffee at all. But if it's cold in a can with a double shot of espresso in there, and for some reason it has to be by Starbucks. I don't know why. I'm kind of a bougie bitch. Like, that's the only way I'll support Starbucks, is if it's a double shot espresso. And I had my heart set on it. I came back to work and I put it in the fridge at night, and then I left for the night. Come back the next day, and it's gone. I literally had my heart set on it, and it's fucking gone. And I was so fucking pissed. So fucking pissed. And I'm normally the first person at work. I'm normally the first person to pull up. First person in the building to turn on all the lights and everything. So I was cussing really loudly. No one was there to hear me. I wouldn't, the big scheme of the big picture, it's not that deep, but it really kind of is. When I was like really looking forward to it, it really wasn't. So I got petty. I wrote a note and I said, whoever drank Luna's double shot espresso, please replace it. Thank you, Luna. And it was replaced. It was replaced like a couple days later. But I was kind of upset that day. I was really pissed off about it because I didn't have any fun. I stayed up a little bit later because I knew that I would have like a little bit of energy with that espresso shot. And, to add insult to injury, the motherfuckers, bless their heart, respectfully. I'm not trying to like throw my coworkers under the bus, but the motherfuckers whoever did it didn't even finish the drink. I saw the whole fucking double shot in the garbage with a sip. Someone like took a sip out of it and decided that they didn't want a drink that they didn't pay for and wasn't meant for them at all anyway. So just throw it away. So that pissed me off. At least if someone would have taken the double shot and drank the whole fucking can, I would have been like, wow, that person must have really been fucking tired to just go and take something that they know wasn't theirs. And you know what? Cool. Just have it. At that point, just fucking have it. But they didn't even drink it. They just took a sip and threw it away. And I'm just bitching about nothing. Petty bullshit. Really just trying to get through this half hour because I really don't want to do this this week. Sometimes you get a good one. Sometimes you don't. I'm not really even talking about shit. But like I said, this is therapeutic for me. I haven't actually vented about that to anyone. I just cussed to myself and then left a petty note. So this is actually my first time venting about it. So thanks for listening to that. Yeah, man. Let me just try and see if I can find something positive, because it looks like all my notes have just been things that have triggered me this week. The water on a wedding day is good luck. Yeah, one of these days, when I was working, I work at a wedding venue, of course, and it was all of a sudden, like, right when, like, the bridal party gets there, it starts pouring down rain. Like, pouring down rain. People are running inside in, like, their fancy clothes and stuff, and it was just a sight to see, really. And that just reminded me how, you know, water on a wedding day is good luck. Would have been nice if it rained on my wedding day, but it didn't. Apparently, the dog days... what did I look up? I looked up something. What did it say? The dog days. The dog days, here, I'm going to read this from Google. Or dog days of summer are the hot, sultry days of summer. They were historically the period following the, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, 𝙭rising of the star system Sirius, which, Hellenistic astrology connected with heat, drought, sudden thunderstorms, lethargy, fever, mad dogs, and bad luck. That's all associated with the dog days of summer, which is July 3rd through August 11th this year. So we've been in it since a couple weeks ago. We've been in it, and that's all we've been getting. It's just random ass thunderstorms, and yeah, just all this funky fucking energy I'm feeling. It's just sticky. It's just swampy fucking heat, and I feel so gross just sitting in it. I'm gonna go to the gym after this. What else can I look up that I talk about? Summer, really, summer actually hits different, really. Now that I'm an adult, I don't know, or maybe it's just because I live in my van. No, it can't be that, because I remember living in my van a while back and it being okay. You know what? No, I'm bullshitting. I was never okay with the summertime in my van, because no matter what you do, you're always rolling around in a fucking hot ass metal box. No matter what. I have fans, I have window screens, I got my doors wide the fuck open, and as soon as you walk into the van, it's like your eyebrows just burn off because of the fucking heat. And I have to constantly regulate my body temperature and my van only during the summertime. And any van that I've ever been in, this is my 4th van, and they've all fucking sucked in the summertime. Respectfully, like, I love the experience and I'm here for the journey and 𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗀, but, like, come on, man. It's almost worse than wintertime. I did my first year doing van life. It was in Colorado, and I started in September, and I went all the way through January. From September through January in Colorado, I lived in my van. And yeah, it was fucking cold, and yeah, there were some days where my car didn't start, but it wasn't nearly as rough as it is in the summertime, I feel like. I can go through a whole fucking summer with it being, or with a whole winter time with it being cold, but I could not do a summertime in Arizona. I don't think I've ever done a summertime in Arizona. I've always got the hell out of Dodge whenever I did van life in Arizona in the summertime, because it makes me feel gross. It makes me feel gross. Cannot wait for fall. Cannot fucking wait for fall. How many fucking days until fall? Let me look that up. How many days until autumn? We have 68 days. So about, 10 weeks? 9.5 weeks? Until autumn. Oh my God. Get me out of here. I'm not going to have it. On a good note, I did run into actually a different coworker who has experience in, electrical stuff and conversions, and he said that he would be more than happy to help me install like an air vent on my van, because right now my van doesn't get any circulation outside of my windows, and I need to have like air flowing through like the top part, and So yeah, that would require, he said all he needs is a hacksaw and he can just do it right in the fucking parking lot. Like it will just be a really quick 1 day kind of job. So that's probably going to be my next thing here in the next couple weeks. I gotta get myself more just airflow in here. I gotta get more airflow in here. I feel terrible for my fucking dog. I bring her outside and it's actually colder outside. Okay, when she's sitting in the shade under a tree, sun's out and shit, she is chilling. She's like taking a nap. Like, it's colder outside than it is in my fucking van right now. And yeah, so I need some I need some peace of mind. I need to have, I need to get some airflow in here. So I'm gonna get on that here in the next couple weeks. I don't really think I have much of a podcast, you guys, this week. Let me see. Okay, I was listening to a different podcast. I don't actually know if it was a podcast. I think it was actually like a book. It was a book, an audiobook. It wasn't my audiobook. It was someone else was playing an audiobook. So, and I forgot the name of it, but it mentioned the 4 seasons of relationships. Do I want to get into that? Do I really want to get into that? I mean, I'm talking about the seasons right now, but I really don't care. It's not like I'm in a relationship right now. Yeah, I don't even think I have enough knowledge to divulge on this, because like, okay, from my understanding, and I'm just going to spitball here, it's similar to how the Native Americans and how we just do the seasons already. Like there's the life, then there's the death, there's the rebirth, there's, the introspection. It all goes in seasons. Everything goes in seasons. But apparently, going off of this audiobook I was listening to, I forgot the damn name. I should ask him. There's 4 seasons in relationships. And I'm not sure if that means that they're forever changing. Like, you'll have a winter season of your relationship and then it'll go back to spring, or if the winter season is the end of it. Actually, I think it would be fall. Okay, let me just look what it says here on Google. Okay, so the 4 seasons of a relationship, analogous, oh my God, I don't even know what that word is, analogous to the natural seasons, represent distinct phases that most relationships go through. These phases, characterized by different dynamics and challenges, include spring, new beginnings and excitement; summer, deepening intimacy and passion; fall, confronting challenges and building trust; and winter, cooling down and potentially either deepening connection or experiencing a decline. Okay, so winter would be like the dark phase of the relationship. And I don't even know why that stuck with me, because I think while I was listening to it, I was kind of thinking about all of my relationships that I've ever had and how quickly we moved from season to season, how eager I was to get to the next step and not sort of living in the moment, not really appreciating the moment, the season that was present. And I sort of just walked myself out of all of my relationships with that mindset. Basically, living in the present is what I gathered from that. There's a time when you have, the excitement. So the spring represents the excitement and the new beginnings. And you should just marinate in that. Sometimes people's or relationships, from what I've observed, their spring season lasts for years sometimes, where it's just still new and exciting. It lasts for years. I've had relationships like that, but then I'll quickly go from spring and then it just goes summer, fall, winter within a week. Cause I can't appreciate the moment and I can't, be grateful for what I have. Oh God, do I really want to fucking do this right now? I really don't want to get into this. I I haven't been in an actual relationship in many, many years. Probably my divorce. I'm trying to think. Did I date someone after I got divorced? No, not for real. So, yeah. I'd say that the spring season, oh God, I'm really getting therapeutic right now. Y'all literally turn this off if you're not trying to hear all my fucking dirty laundry business. Respectfully. The spring season of my relationship with my ex-husband, where it felt like it was new beginnings and excitement. I would say, and then, okay, from spring it goes to summer, where it says you're deepening intimacy and passion. So at what point did we go from everything's new and exciting to now we're deepening our intimacy and passion? Okay, I'd say like the first year. We were together total, and including our marriage, about 4 years, I believe. Yeah, 4 years total, including the marriage. And I'd say the spring season of my relationship in its entirety was about a year. Maybe like a little bit less than that. It was like maybe like 9 months or so, where everything felt new and exciting, and you know, we haven't deepened our connection yet. I think the point where we moved from spring into summer was when we went out of the country together. It was my first time leaving the country, his second time leaving the country, but both of our time, going together. And we had only known each other for like that 1 year or so, or maybe I think 2 years. We've known each other for like a year before we started dating. And then we started dating. Springtime was like 10 months long, maybe. Beautiful springtime. I think our spring, it was beautiful. And, maybe I could have appreciated it more. Ew, why am I feeling this right now? God damn it. Push through it, Drew. Push through it. Okay. And then summertime, our summer season of our relationship would have to be when we went to Belize. We went to San Pedro, Belize. We were there for like 12 days or something. And yeah, I believe that was when we began to feel closer and more connected with each other. Intimacy, passion, all that stuff. Okay, so what point did we move, and this is me literally just thinking about it right now, what point did we move from our summer season to our fall season? The fall season represents what? Confronting your challenges and building trust. So here's the thing. I realize, I think during, after, maybe even before, maybe I just instinctually knew, like, I don't think I ever really trusted him. And maybe that was part of the reason why I couldn't appreciate the seasons as they were happening, because something was always kind of pulling and nagging on me in the back of my head, like, you can't trust this guy. And it probably had something to do with him self-proclaiming himself as a narcissist, amongst other things that he confessed, about his own character. Or I don't even know. Maybe my own personal trauma had something to do, my projecting, who I thought he was supposed to be, made me not trust him in some way. But I really couldn't feel comfortable in the fall season of our relationship if it was based on confronting our challenges and building trust. That's one thing that was definitely a reoccurring theme in our relationship in its entirety, was confronting challenges and attempting to build trust. I would say that the feeling would probably be mutual. I don't talk to my ex-husband anymore, but I would think that he would agree that there was just something that was blocking us from really acknowledging, taking accountability for ourselves, acknowledging our own shortcomings, and then trusting each other. It did come to a very slight trust. I'm trying to figure out, like, what point did I felt like, okay, I trust this guy enough. I trust him enough, and we're confronting our challenges. Let's call it when we got married. Let's call it lockdown. Let's call it Memorial Day, March, April, May of 2020. Let's call it the lockdown. What do they call it? The pandemic in 2020. I think that was the year where we really sort of, at least we really attempted to try and deepen our connection, deepen our trust with each other, and confronting each other about real fucking things that would help us prosper and help us grow as a couple. We were still engaged at that point. I think when I finally said, like, okay, let's fucking do it. We're going to get married. We got married during lockdown. We had a social distance wedding. Most people were wearing masks. We had to wear masks while we were exchanging our vows. I'm not even lying. Like, the craziest fucking time when, like, everyone is, like, freaking the fuck out in America and all over the world. That was probably when I felt like I can trust this guy to an extent. I can trust him to an extent. And of course, anyone who's been listening to any of my other van life diaries or my podcasts, when I've talked about my marriage before, that moment, I've said this before, that moment when I signed my name, when I actually signed my name, I literally felt my entire identity fall away and did not know who I was. It was instant regret, I felt like I did the wrong thing. And it was immediately, instantaneously, as I'm signing my name, I'm like, this is the wrong thing to do. So I think we went from our summer season to our fall season. Our spring was like 10 months long. Then we went to Belize. We're deepening our intimacy and our passion and our connection with each other. It's still new and exciting for us. We still don't really know each other that well. We're like a year into it, right? Year into it. Okay. Now, that summer season lasted from 2018 all the way until 2020. Literally, we were in our summer season for like 2 years. For the majority of our relationship, I would say that it was like summer. And now that it just makes fucking sense why I'm just so pissed off at the summertime right now. I think I'm gonna cry. Like, the longest season of my marriage was summer. It took us so fucking long to deepen our intimacy and passion. And it was a great season, don't get me wrong. It was the majority of our relationship, and it was probably the meat of our relationship, like the meat and potatoes. If you want to know who we are as a couple together, go to our summer season. Ignore the first 9 months, because we were just like, young and dumb, and we'll get to the fall, when things start going downhill. Now, remember, I got divorced in 2021, okay? So our summer lasted from 2018 to 2020, and then we moved into fall when we got married, and then, oh my God, winter season's coming on, right? Like I said, I immediately felt regret after signing my name. Let me just go back and emphasize on our beautiful summer season. I'm filled right now with just a touch of regret, or not really regret. It's that feeling of, I think it's regret. I think a part of me just knew that I could have been better during that season, and I went the other way. I'm taking accountability for my part in the whole fucking thing. I always have. Unlike the other half of the marriage. I want some shade. Okay, so our fall season, we got married. I'm having an identity crisis. We talk about divorce like 7 days in. 7 days into the marriage, we're talking about divorce, right? We're in marriage counseling like 2 weeks in. Not even bullshitting. Less than 2 weeks in, we're in marriage counseling. It's going downhill. We're realizing that these challenges that we're confronting, we actually didn't really confront them fully before we committed to each other legally, in a binding contract. And we also are realizing that we really didn't trust each other as much as we maybe would have wanted to trust them, or that we could have trusted them. I don't know. in our fall season. This is like 2 weeks into our marriage. It starts moving into the winter. So the winter season of the relationship represents cooling down and potentially either deepening the connection, potentially, or experiencing a decline. So the winter, god damn. The fall season was from the moment I married him, and I believe winter started happening. We got married in, oh my God. We got married in July of 2020. And by, I don't even want to give it like, I would say by December, not even like 5 or 6 months later, we're moving into winter. Like our fall is over and we're basically trying to determine if we want to even stay married 5 months into it, or if we want to just go our separate ways. Now, our last little hoorah was January of 2021. That was the year when, that was the year when so-and-so got elected, and then the other people like rushed the White House type shit. That year I was actually in DC. I was in DC and in Philly. And I'll backtrack a little bit because I stayed in Colorado. I'm making this a super long story, but I don't think any of you guys are going to listen. We were married and we were in Colorado, and we're moving into our winter season where we're declining. We're realizing that we were not really knowing if we want to keep this marriage going. So to try and, to try and make it work one last time, we took a break. Not a like, hey, we're seeing other people break, but a like, you need to move out of this house break. Hell, you need to move out of the state of Colorado break. In the most respectful, narcissistic way that he could have possibly said it to me, that's basically what he said. Like, I can't be around you if we're going to try and make this work. Oh, the irony. So I hit up my friend who lived on the East Coast, and I flew out to Philadelphia. Well, it wasn't quite Philly. It was near Philly. I flew out there, and I was there for like 2 months. And during that time, this was like in February. It was like a month after they rushed the White House or the Capitol. One of those buildings. I don't fucking pay attention to it. It was the Capitol building. They rushed the same year. Like a month after that, I was out there in DC just trying to save my marriage and not get in his way and not be seen. And we weren't even wearing rings at that point. I believe he like took his ring back and I took my ring back, and it was a hot mess of a fucking winter season. I tell you fucking that. It's cooling down. We're kind of feeling it cool down. We're not really feeling like the spark anymore, the passion. We're kind of just feeling like, I don't trust you, and I don't think I want to be with you for the rest of my life. In the most loving way, And so I came back in 420. I came back for 420 to Colorado from DC, and that was in April. And about 2 months later, I filed for divorce. So yeah, the four seasons of my relationship lasted about 4 years, with the bulk of it being the summer season lasting 2 years. First year was non-existent. The last 2 years was split between fall and winter. Very, very quickly, like barely. It's really like a year and a half. Like it did not take us long. I filed for divorce in July on our 1 year anniversary. And then about 2 months later, I was officially divorced and moved back into my van. That was so fucking long-winded. I think it was absolutely necessary because I actually didn't get a chance to reflect on it. But it's something that sparked it came up while I was at work, and I was just zoning out, just working and prepping, getting ready for, these events. And they had that playing in the background. And I remember that I I pondered on what the 4 seasons of a relationship would look like in an ideal situation, or what they have looked like for me. And there you guys go. That's what you guys just got from my marriage. I haven't been in a relationship, and I can go a little deeper and say what I would want it to look like, but I don't think I'm going to go there right now. I'm feeling like actually I need some water. Let me pause this really quick. Yeah, man. Something else that was also said, and I'm just going to end this sappy fucking talk on this. Something else that was said on that, it wasn't a podcast, it was an audiobook, and I got to get the title of the book. Note to future self. Yes, future self. Present self. Get the title of that book about when they were talking about the 4 seasons of the relationship. Or maybe you guys know, comment on this podcast if you know what I'm talking about. But something else that was mentioned in that audiobook was how the line was, how do you change from thinking from me thinking to a we thinking, right? How do you it was a very good book. I need to go get it or listen to it again. But yeah, it was basically explaining how you can shift from the me thinking, why are you doing this to me and me, and to a we thinking, like we need to figure this out. You know what I mean? So I don't actually recall the full steps of what was stated in the audiobook, but my friend who was actually the one who was playing the audiobook, apparently I guess he has listened to that before and he was just sharing it, but he said, do you know how you change thinking from me to we? You realize that they're the same thing, just one letter is upside down. And that just blew my fucking mind. Literally, me and we are the same thing. I don't even know how to fully elaborate on that. But it's still, even saying it right now, me and we are the same thing. It's just one's upside down. It seems like it's just self-explanatory. It just makes sense. Maybe I'll go back and read it and come back next week with it. But I realized that in my multiple relationships, and pretty much every relationship that I've ever had, I've always had a me thinking, like a me thought process. Like, how is this going to benefit me? How am I going to get, what I need or what I want? How are you going to help me, instead of a we thinking? So all it just takes is just shifting, and realizing that they're the same thing. We are me, and me am we. Me am we. Kind of Southern talk are you talking about? All right, I think that's it. I've been talking for way too long. I went a little deep there. I'm going to get out of here. I have some questions that I'm going to get to. But first, I do want to, I wanted to add a new segment. Here I am, content creating. I want to add a new segment to the podcast. And it's called, and I don't know if anyone's ever done this before, but it felt like an original idea to me. And I'm calling it Songs That Hit Different as an Adult. I'm going to try and make this a segment where, because it seems like the older I get, more and more songs, I'm sure many old heads can agree, more and more songs that I used to resonate with and or even didn't like or whatever, they meant something to me as a child, and now they just hit different as an adult. And I'm calling this segment Songs That Hit Different as an Adult. And I'm going to kick it off with what inspired this segment. And I'll even go on the whole little rabbit hole, the whole little trail with you. It started because I was scrolling, of course, on Instagram, and I came across a sponsored content from the Backstreet Boys, bro, at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Apparently that's fucking happening right now. How am I 36 years old? That music was made for me during my generation, and I have never been to a Backstreet Boys concert. I've never been to any of the boy bands concert. Like the poppiest concert that I went to while they were still relevant was Jessica Simpson. And the only reason why I went to a Jessica Simpson concert, I'm going on a tangent and I digress, but was because the tickets were free. Okay. And I went to the Jessica, I swear, what the fuck was I doing? Because all these kids now are enjoying my music. Now, I'm not saying they're all kids. Actually, a lot of old heads are going to these Backstreet Boys show. They've never stopped making music. I'm just like, I'm halfway ticked off that I cannot afford a fucking concert ticket. I need to like take out another fucking savings account so I can go to a Backstreet Boys concert before they fucking die. I was so triggered by it in like a good way. Cause I grew up listening to them, NSYNC. I was more of an NSYNC fan, but if we're talking about bands that hit different now, fuck Justin Timberlake, really fuck all of NSYNC except for Lance. And the Backstreet Boys is kind of where it's at, mostly because they stayed true to their fan base. Always, since I grew up. It seems like they've always been, I don't even know, maybe they're clones. Maybe they're not even fucking real. Maybe they're fucking aliens or something. I don't fucking know how they just have all that fucking heart for like over 20 fucking years. And they're in Las Vegas right now at the Sphere, and I'm incredibly jealous. And I'm seeing, and then I follow other people's content and stuff on Instagram, and I see so many fucking people going to the Backstreet Boys concert, and because I started looking at these reels on Instagram, now my algorithm is like showing me like nostalgic 90s like pop songs, and I came across Christina Aguilera. So this is the song that hit different as an adult. Christina Aguilera, Can't Hold Us Down. Okay. And I'm going to sound real ignorant when I say it, but first of all, I love Christina Aguilera. Always was a Christina fan growing up. Always loved Christina, even when she went through her little dirty phase, right? Especially when she went through her dirty phase. But on that dirty album was that song, Can't Hold Us Down. If anyone doesn't know that song, it's featuring Lil' Kim. As a child, when I first saw the music video, for any of you guys who don't know what a music video is, they have music videos now, but if you guys have ever heard of a thing called MTV, there's this thing called MTV that used to be really popular back in like the 90s and early 2000s. It stood for music television. Get this. This was like a channel on like cable, basically on your cable, where you can like watch music and music related things like all day long. They even had like a thing called like Total Request Live. They shortened it to TRL. And it's basically like this countdown of like the top music videos of like today, of that time. It was incredible. I don't know if they're still doing that now, but that's was something that was really popular when I was growing up. A thing called music television, short MTV. Okay. And I remember watching the making of the videos. They did making of the videos. They did like cribs where they would go to like the house of your favorite music celebrity or whatever and show you their house on the show called Cribs. They showed it on MTV. It was called music television. Anyways, I remember watching this video, Can't Hold Us Down, by Christina Aguilera as a child, and I was so like pissed off. I remember being like upset with her. I'm like, Christina, you are way better than all these other bitches out here. Cough, Britney Spears. Sorry. Back in the day, I didn't care for Britney Spears. My adult version of me loves Britney, but my younger version could not stand Britney. She can't sing. She was, a whore or whatever. I got mad at Christina for making a video with Lil' Kim talking about how, like I said, I'm going to sound ignorant. As a kid, I didn't understand it. It hits different now as an adult for obvious reasons. If you know that song, you know what I'm talking about. But the song is about how there's like a double standard with men and women, how like a man can like have sex with multiple women and he's like a player, but if a woman has sex with multiple men, then she's a whore. How a man can like, walk around like wearing whatever he wants and nobody like physically, assaults him, physically touches him or grabs him or catcalls to him. But a woman can't wear, like, you know, if she wears like short shorts or like, you know, tube tops or whatever, then people like feel like that she's just up for grabs. And, you know, that was the whole fucking song. And the whole video, she was basically dressed like in these coochie cutter booty shorts, and this tube top. Kind of cringe if you're a kid. And I was so mad at her because I was like, if you don't want to be called a whore and treated like a whore, then why the hell are you dressed like a whore? Oh my God. I literally didn't even like that song. I didn't like that song. And the worst part was when 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝘀 came out. 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝗀 came out in the video wearing a bikini and like a fucking shawl. Like, that's it. She literally had nothing on, and she was like, if a guy does this, then he's the man and I'm a whore and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, look at yourself, right? 16, I don't even know, like a 13-year-old version of me was like completely feeding the patriarchy unknowingly. And I like, every time that song came on, I skipped it. Okay. So my nostalgic, replay and my algorithm on Instagram played that video while I was looking through Backstreet Boys video the other day. And it literally moved me. Like, I was like, wow, she knew the whole fucking time. First, like, oh my God, how dare I tell a woman that if she wants to not be treated like a whore, then she shouldn't dress like one? What kind of dumb shit is that? What kind of pick me shit is that? Oh my fucking God. Literally. So yeah, that song was, it hits different as an adult. It's one of my favorite songs now. I could not stand it as a child. But now I'm just like, she knew what the fuck she was talking about. She was trying to warn us. She was trying to empower us. She was trying to give us a voice. She was trying to be the voice for us. There was like plus size women in the fucking video. There was like half naked women. There was mothers. There was like all kinds of women, light skin, dark skin, all kinds of women in this video. And they were all just being women, and they were just being hated on because they were women. And I didn't get it. Until like a couple fucking days ago when I heard the fucking song for the first time in like 15 years. Then I played it back and I sang it. So yeah, that's my segment. Songs that hit different as an adult. I'm pretty sure, a lot of people would agree, because I read the comments on that video and a couple other women were saying the same thing. Like, wow, I get it now. Another song by Christina Aguilera that hits different as an adult, and I'm just saying this just because I'm on Christina Aguilera kick right now, is that Genie in a Bottle song. Everybody knows that Genie in a Bottle song. Now, that's a song that I always liked, as a kid, because it was catchy, and yeah, I loved Christina, but it holds a different meaning to me now. What does she say? If you want to be with me, there's a price to pay. I'm a genie in a bottle. You got to rub me the right way. It kind of hits different. I didn't understand it when I was younger. When I was younger, I thought she was talking about sex. Like, yeah, boy, was I fucking wrong. But anyway, okay, so that's the segment. Let's get to these fucking questions. I'm getting here to my hour here. I'm casually getting to an hour to the podcast. Oh yeah, another song that hits different as a child, as an adult. Songs that hit different. Final one, the third one. I'll just end it on the third one. Independent Woman, Part 1 by Destiny's Child, by the Children of Destiny. Now, for all you young cats out there, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was this female R&B group called Destiny's Child, and it had multiple members. They had like a revolving door of like members in this group, but the three that were popular, like that stuck out for the long haul and like that people most know, they were Miss Kelly Rowland, okay, Miss Michelle Williams, and believe it or not, Beyonce Carter Knowles. Yes. She actually was in an R&B group called Destiny's Child. Yeah, she was not the lead singer, actually. They were like a trio, and they kind of all like led each other. Maybe if anybody was like not the lead singer, it was Michelle. Definitely not Michelle. But so yeah, they had this song called Independent Woman Part 1. And I actually had that Destiny's Child album, and motherfucking, there was a Part 2. And if y'all don't know about Part 2, go listen to that. It kind of goes hard. But Part 1, as a child, I did not know what the hell they were talking about. Obviously, it's self-explanatory. All my women who's are independent, you know, pay my own car note, and I got my own bills, right? It ain't easy being independent, right? Everybody knows that song. Back in the day when I was singing that song, it's like, how about this? It just hits different. It still has the same feeling, right? Like, I still know what they're talking about. But now when I sing that song, I sing it with my whole fucking chest. Because back in the day, there was never, actually, not even back in the day, literally up until like when I got divorced. Up until when I got divorced, I was never, ever a fully independent woman of my own. I was never that woman, ever, up until 2020 motherfucking one. I was never an independent woman. Never paid my own bills. Never, had my own car note. Always had to be codependent on a man or a woman or my parents or a roommate or anybody else, but just solely independent on me. I was never an independent woman, and that's not something I'm like. I'm not proud of it, but at the same time, I'm great. I'm happy to say that yes, it's possible. It's possible that you can be grown as hell and not be independent and not know how to take care of your fucking self. And it hits different now, being fully divorced and fully sustained. Like I'm taking care of 100% of everything that I do for the first time ever. And that was like 20 to 21. I was like 30 fucking 2, I think 33. Damn, I've been divorced for 4 years. Literally, we've been divorced longer than our entire relationship. This will be the year where the divorce actually has been longer than the entire relationship. Crazy. But yeah, was never an independent woman until I got divorced, and I didn't have a fucking choice. I felt like I literally had to take care of myself. I didn't know if it was possible. I didn't think it was, And it turned out that it was not only possible, but I'm actually doing a damn good fucking job. And now, when Independent Woman comes on, I bump that shit and I sing it with my whole fucking chest, okay? That and that other independent song, Miss Independent, by Neo. Anyway, so that was that. Let me get to these Facebook questions. So I asked a question on Facebook. I have a couple... Actually, let me get to these anonymous questions. I have a couple anonymous questions that I want to ask. I did ask a question on Facebook, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. These anonymous questions. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, email me, 𝘨𝗫𝑠peaks@gmail.com. All my links are on my link tree. I put the link. It's in my bio. Just check my biography or whatever. Okay. All my shit's up there. Okay. Link tree. At GratefulLuna89, or you can just email me, 𝘨𝗫𝑠peaks@gmail.com. Let me get into these questions and get the fuck off of here, because I'm tired of talking. Okay, so this one person, let me see if this is a man or a woman, because I responded to them. I'm going to read what I responded to them. I haven't read this yet, honey. Okay, cool, yeah. This is probably why I'm triggered on my relationship. It's very applicable right now. This person asked me, how did you know you were ready to move on from a relationship? What did your body feel like when you felt like you had enough? Okay, and I wrote back to them, and I'm going to read it out here. I wrote back, I recognized it was time for me to move forward from the relationship when I objectively examined all my decisions that had led me to this point and all the various misconceptions I was perpetuating in my own mind. I realized that I was actually not in love with that person, but rather my idealized perception of that person, which was paired with a superficial imitation of love and a general sense of spiritual hypocrisy. And then I go on to say... hold on, I got cut off. Once I let go of those unrealistic expectations, then it was as if a veil was lifted from over my eyes. My whole body just knew that I was ready and it was time. I had a new sense of clarity and direction. I acknowledged the reality that he was his own individual on his own path, and I shouldn't interfere with what he has already set out to accomplish in this life, even if that means it's not aligned with my own path. I don't even feel like I need to elaborate on that. I feel like that was really well articulated. But yeah, and I'm not even trying to showboat right now. This literally, me feeling all these feelings, like, and objectively examining myself and all my decisions, all my choices, honestly and truthfully, that was like January, okay? Really, I decided that I'm going no contact. I'll admit it. I decided that I was going no contact with my ex-husband on the winter solstice of 2024. Straight up, we've been talking like on and off for years. But I decided that I'm going no contact on the winter solstice while we were moving into the darkest time of the fucking year. Went no contact. And then within that no contact, in the darkest time of the year, January, I decided to objectively look at myself, and I made the decision that it was enough. I'm done. I was done. It was really just like a light switch. I didn't realize how much I was actually holding myself back from my own healing. Ain't that crazy? I don't know if people do that a lot, or is that just I feel like people do that a lot. People, like, they play like the biggest part in their own fucking suffering, and they can't be honest with themselves about it. So it literally, I had nothing to lose at that point. At that point, I had already lost everything. So I might as well just keep it real. And stop playing a part in my own suffering. So, yeah, that was a good question. That was a great question. Let me look, and this next question. Oh wow, this girl kind of went on a tangent. She goes, and bless her heart, bless this whole conversation. She says, she's got a lot of typos. I'm try not to go on here every day, but seem like something is going on in my life. Before I get into backstory, so me and ex, we all work at the same places, years old. When my oldest son was 1 year, someone at the job told me to come up at 11:30 to see my husband at the time. I did the way that he hugs this. I did the way that he hugs this lady. I had question. I asked them what is going between the two. I asked her, did she want my husband? And she told, maybe I do. She told me, maybe I do. Oh, God. I almost beat the lady up. Okay, fast forward couple months. Everything was back to normal. I got pregnant with my second child. Oh, here we go. And they stopped talking. Fast forward to 2025. Me and ex are separated. I just found out on Friday that he was still talking / relationship with the lady for 10 years. Oh my God. Where am I? And I didn't know. Hold on. Where is it? Crap. I already lost my, relationship with the lady for 10 years. The lady I almost beat up when my oldest son was 1. She know about me and him and how he left me. She has pictures and texts between the two, but he stopped talking to her when she got fired and has a lawsuit again, the job that fired her. I'm so confused by this fucking story. I can't understand. I'm trying to get through it. I'm so shocked, hurt, betrayed about this new information. 10 years and I didn't know. Now she wants to be on side, and now he is with another lady. It's a lot to process. My marriage was a lie. The only thing that out of marriage was financial debt. The only thing that got out of marriage was financial debt, no friends, no confidence, got fat and ugly, lost my hair. I had hair past my ear. But the good thing I did get are my boys. Sorry for this long. I only have 2 people who have my back while I'm going this. Oh, my family. Okay. I tried to decipher. I pretty much kind of understood. It seems like, yeah, she's with this guy. In a nutshell, trying to like decode her message here. She was with the guy. They had a baby. They got married, I think, and then she found out that he was like hugging a coworker who eventually got fired, and he told her that they weren't talking, but apparently they were talking for 10 years. And she didn't find out until well after they got divorced and after they had a second child. So, whew, that's just what I wrote to her, and I'm just going to read what I wrote to her. I said, it's a very sad situation. It's also a very sad reality to understand that this is just how men are wired to behave. There isn't anything that would keep a man from connecting with other women if he wanted it bad enough, not even marriage or children. You can't really be upset with him for behaving as he was biologically designed to behave. Women often marry for love, and men often marry for the benefits. It's not that he didn't love you, it's just men's idea of love differs from women's idea of love. Women tend to be delusional at times when it comes to love, avoiding reason and critical thinking because, quote, their heart tells them to, end quote. If loving you was beneficial to him, then he will love you forever. But the benefit he received by keeping on a whole relationship with another woman outweighed whatever benefit he may have gotten with just being faithful to you. Men are logical creatures. If it makes sense to him, then he will go after it. Having another woman in his life made sense to him. That's all. You got to look at it like that with every single man. Maybe even try adapting some of their selfishness into your own life. Just get selfish with what it is you want. And when you get what you want from a man, you must be willing to accept that he still may want someone else, but at least you got what you wanted. I really hope this helps. Sheesh. I think that was in a nutshell. You guys have heard me rant about that. I'll say it. I'll beat the whole dead horse. I'll beat the dead horse. I'll say it over and over again. If it makes men marry for benefits, women marry for love. The fact that he loves you it's not the sole benefit. If it is, then hey, it is good. Bless your heart. But there's an underlying benefit to why men get married to a woman. Even if it's just pussy or someone to wash his fucking clothes or just someone just to be there with him. That benefit must be good enough benefit for him to want to just be with you and only you, right? I also understand and I hope many women kind of just understand that, it's kind of unrealistic to just be the only person for one other person. It's really unrealistic. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I kind of am. I kind of am saying it's barely possible that one person is going to fulfill all of your needs. I believe that everyone in some way, whether big or small, some way, everyone is settling on some fucking level. Everyone is settling on something or compromising on something. Okay? Bless their heart. I'm going to read this last question. What did I say to this person? Oh, Jesus. All right. This is obviously a woman. It's anonymous. She says, I've come to the conclusion that I'm not for anybody, in all caps. I'll spend years dealing with so much from people who couldn't give it to me and said I was asking for too much and to stop nagging them, all for them to go their way and start to become a, quote, better man for the next. I guess I wasn't worth it. I guess I wasn't important. I guess I was a stepping stone for them. Seeing them doing all the things I either asked or gave my opinion on now that we're no longer dealing with each other is really heartbreaking. I really want to give up. I really serve no purpose. Whew, girl. All right. I did respond to her, but I don't think I actually even touched on the point that when she said that he's doing something, all the things that she wanted him to do, he's doing for someone else. What is this? What she says? What does she say? I'm going to find the exact quote. Seeing him do all the things I asked or gave my opinion on now he's doing it with someone else. And that is fucking heartbreaking. Literally, I had an ex one time, not my ex-husband, but one time I had an ex that we were together for like 2.5 years. And the whole time I was wanting to get married, and he kept telling me that he wasn't ready for marriage. And then like less than a month after we broke up, he was physically marrying another woman in Vegas. He physically married, and of course they got divorced like shortly after, very shortly after. But yeah, he went and had a whole ass marriage with the woman and got married like a month. So men just do that, and it's not a matter of like exactly how it feels like. Okay, he's just not that into you, baby girl. He didn't want you to be his wife. He wanted a wife, but it wasn't you. He wanted a kid, but he didn't want you to have his kid. You know what I mean? And that is like, that's just what it is. Men would rather just keep us hanging on and then just leave than to tell us the truth, because they know that our emotional egos we're just so fragile. Okay, we're so fragile. We couldn't handle the truth. A man could literally tell us, yo, I only want to fuck you. I don't want a relationship with you. I don't want to have anything to do with you except sex. And women still can't, like, they don't have a grip on reality. Okay, and they can't handle the truth. They're like, oh, I'm going to change his mind. Well, maybe if I do this, then maybe he'll change his mind. No, he literally told you what his intentions are. Believe him. So anyway, let me get into what I wrote back to this woman, bless her heart. I said, a lot of women have a delusional idea of what unconditional love truly means. It's not your fault, mostly, because men sell women the idea of patriarchy and women eat it right up. Many women believe that love is transactional, which is not the case. You feel this way because your intentions were off from the beginning. You were not loving that person to love them. You were loving them for something in return. And that's not true unconditional love. If you really love that man for who he really is, you would be content with just loving him and not expecting anything back in return. But your expectations are what's having you feel this way. No, you were not worth it, and you were not important to him. But that doesn't mean that you should hold no value or importance for yourself. Your worth is not determined by how much you are loved by another person. Your worth is for you to determine. I really hope this helps. And I'm just going to chef kiss, snap fingers on that, because I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get to this last question and then get on out of here. It's a long podcast. Oh, hold on. I got this is not really a question. They were just kind of complaining. They said, my finances are going to be the death of me. I don't know if they were serious. By the way, if you have any, I'm not a trained professional, go get some medical attention. Go see a therapist. This is all for shits and gigs. But I responded to them. I don't know if it's a woman, anonymous. I said, fortunately, money comes and goes. It's literally just a concept that we perpetuate by participating, and you can't take it with you when you die. She said that her finances are going to be the death of her. Well, good for her, because you can't take it with you when you die. The best thing you can do is die with an enormous amount of debt and no dependence. I really hope this helps. And that was sort of like a half-ass, like, funny answer, because I don't know if she was being serious about that question, but I kind of believe that, like, that's probably my dying wish. It would be a damn shame if I had any money in my pocket when I die. It'd be a damn shame. If anything, I want to owe so much fucking money, and I want to have no one who would be responsible for paying back that debt after I die. No dependence. That's the best thing I can do as far as finances go, is die with an enormous amount of debt. All the debt. Give me all the debt and no dependence, and I would die happy. Because if I have $1 in my pocket, it's a damn fucking shame. You can't take it with you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with that $1? You're dead. You're fucking dead. Oh God, this is so annoying. I'm almost done. Pushing through. I asked a question on Facebook in one of my many groups. I'm a part of many groups. This group is, it's a public group, so I will read the responses to their question, and I'll say their first name. It's a public group. You can find it if you want. It's a spiritual group for spiritual singles and spiritual partners. And it has about almost 25,000 members in it. And I have not read through the comments yet, but let me see how many comments it got. I asked it a few days ago. It has 51 comments. And, oh, that's right. I read through some of the comments, and then I noticed that it was mostly men, per usual. So I made an edit to the post, and I have not read the comments after I made the edit. So the original question of the post was, in your opinion, can a man and woman truly be friends? Bum, bum, bum. Oh, yeah, I was feeling real like, this week. In your opinion, can a man and woman truly be friends? And then I went back to later edit saying I'd like to hear more opinions from women on the topic, because obviously, like, a man is going to be like, yeah, well, men and women can totally be friends. Of course, because it benefits a man to be friends with a woman because there's a possibility that she might sleep with him. And that if that's his objective, then that's it. That's all he needs. He just needs to have some kind of access to some woman. And of course, but I wanted to hear what women had to say about it. You know what? I hardly even really want to read these comments. I just want to go on a rant about how, like, what I believe. I'm going to read through some of the comments, but what I believe is that a man and woman cannot truly be friends because men do not respect women as they respect their male friends. And you can't be friends with someone who doesn't respect you as a friend. You know what I mean? See how a man behaves around another friend who is a man, and then see how a man behaves around a quote friend who is a woman, and there's like basically there's just no respect. There's a big difference in how they behave toward each other, and it's a respect thing. Men kind of view us as sort of less than or softer or just more sensitive, and they just don't respect that as they would another man. So just, and I anytime I say that, people get real mad. You always hear bitches and men come out the woodworks. It doesn't surprise me that men try and defend that, but it's really just kind of like, it's crazy how many women actually defend that. Yeah, you can totally be friends with a man. I've actually sat down with a couple of my women friends who trust me, who value my opinion, who listen to me. I've actually sat down with a few of my female friends who swore up and down that so-and-so was their best friend and would have never betrayed them or hurt them or anything like that. And once I spit game to them about how he actually is just waiting for the opportunity to possibly have sex with you, and then they looked at themselves. I had a couple women actually had those aha moments. I love witnessing women when it just click, when they have that like epiphany right then and there, and they're like, wow, I actually don't have male friends. I have men who I'm comfortable being around, but it doesn't make them my friend. And I think likewise, I don't think women should even be friends with men. Okay, we're different people. We can coexist without having to be friends. Because there's just, women approach friendships differently than men approach friendships. Just look at how a woman talks with another woman, her friend, her best friend, and then look how a woman talks with her best quote guy friend. Okay. It's not the same. It's not the same. She talks to him in a way that she kind of wants his approval in a way. Maybe I'm projecting, but I observe it so often that I'm seeing that it's more true than not true. I see women sort of performing, even for men who they are not sexually or physically attracted to in anything other than platonic, and they're still in a way kind of performing. But when that same woman goes around her actual friends, her woman friends, she is fully herself. She is like talking about her vagina and fucking farting and burping and just being a human being. But she would never behave that way, even around her best quote guy friend. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. I'm going to read some of these comments about some of these women who feel like they are the exception and that it's very possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just like, it's a different kind of dynamic. And we kind of just have to once I started addressing that, then my relationships actually became better. Now there's no ulterior motive because I already know that, hey, we're actually not friends. You're my coworker, or you're my business friend, or you're my, someone who's I'm doing business with in some way. There's not really a friendship that I can say that I have with another man that really has some ulterior, like I'm getting some kind of benefit. He's receiving some kind of benefit. So anyway, let me read through these fucking comments and get out of here. This is so long. Email me your questions, 𝘨𝗫𝗎𝑠peaks@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming this far. So this person, it's a public post, so I'm just going to say their first name. Nam writes, my best friends, these are all men. These are mostly fucking men. So I hardly even want to read it. Of course they want to be friends with women. Of course they do. Nam writes, my best friends, one of 45 years and one of 12, are both women. So yep, it's not a problem. John writes, maybe for a girl, but not for a guy. We are wired differently. Actually, I'm like that. That's actually an honest thing. Yeah, we're wired differently. That's probably the most honest thing out of this. Okay. BB, it's a woman. She writes, not an opinion, and a matter of fact, I have many male friends. It is not a complicated concept. It is also a sign of how one is able to connect to opposite sex without sexuality. Touche. Some clearly get confused between energetic attraction and physical one. They don't necessarily come as a package. Okay. I like that comment because maybe that's my fucking hang up, is that I rarely run into men who can separate the energetic attraction with the physical attraction. Most people, and likewise, I rarely run into people who, if I'm energetically attracted to you, I'm basically physically attracted to you. And it's hard for me to make that difference. I'm basically physically attracted to you. There are a few people who I find myself energetically attracted to, but not physically attracted to. And I feel like those are like my closest friends, my best friends. They're all women. Best friends. Like, I'm energetically attracted to several women, but not in any fucking physical or sexual way. And with men, it feels different. It feels like once I become energetically attracted to a man, I feel like the physical attraction is just the next logical step, right? Like, but hey, you know what? Touche. How about I marinate on that? Maybe I need to do some inner work on that. How about I marinate on it? And I'll just end it on that because I really don't even want to read the rest of these fucking comments. I'm part of the problem. I'll admit it. I'm part of the problem. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you next week.